Hello everyone, welcome back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, what happened last time? We started this trial, and yeah, it already ain't looking so good. First off, we got a positive, well, we got not necessarily a positive identification, but we were able to identify the victim as Olive Green. And don't worry, she's not dead. She's actually just in a hospital bed. Comatose, of course, so this ain't a murder trial. Let's see. Case file. Ain't much from there. We talked about a few things. I think one of the main points, though, is that first off, as you can see by the photograph here, Mr. Natsume's books were left at the scene because he just dropped them and ran. And also the fact that originally they thought he was going on to Bourbon Books, but when in actuality he was heading over to your books, which means he either went through Meerschaum Street, down Briar Road to the area, or he could have gone down Calabash Road, down this horizontal street, down this southern street, straight to his lodgings and encountered it. So yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyways, somehow Van Zieks has managed to convince everybody that we're guilty. Let me see this. Yeah, he's going the long way around, which he wouldn't, obviously, so he has to be the perpetrator. And then everybody, what's it called, agrees with him, and then all of a sudden we get our guilty verdict before we can even, like, do anything. Whatever. Anyways, it's time for our second summation examination.
Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his army.
Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Oh, I'm using a Pro Controller this time, so apologize if I'm up. Good God, apologies if you hear any clicking noises. Anyways, let's see. The jurors' contentions. For pity's sake, that Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim.
The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. Not in winter.
So, the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
Your books. Yes. Nice shop, that. But Bourbon Books? No, not worth a visit.
Wow, that was really helpful.
With only minor exceptions, the reason for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear.
When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now.
Ugh, why did he have to run away like that?
And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see?
This is impossible. How could I possibly make a case for the defense?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If you want to force the trial to continue...
Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their mind. Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward.
Oh my god.
You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination.
Yes, my lord. Alright. I just need to keep this trial going somehow. Whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke. You can do it. Alright. Let's begin our examination. The defense's rebuttal. Well, I remember one thing being of importance from when I played this last. It's the thing at the end here.
Hold it!
Huh? Sorry, folded you say? Hold what?
No. What I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often?
I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question?
Well, I was picking out books there all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Oh, so he was like at your book, so he could have seen Mr. Natsume or something. Are you sure about the time?
Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it very well. I'm not about to forget the day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had.
What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my number was up.
Oh, he knocked himself out. And that's down Calabash Road. Oh, wait. Does that mean... Sorry, does that mean that there's a chance Mr. Natsume could have seen him? Because he saw the lady fall down in a green overcoat, and both she and that old man there do have a bit of a stocky, what's called body type. So I mean, he could have mistaken it, right? Huh? Yeah, I mean, you could say that. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road?
That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back to your books.
Drawer number 6. I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant.
Huh? Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now.
Whatever. It sends a shiver down my spine, Taylor. Members of the jury still convinced. Does it, though? I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective. Yeah, no duh. Whatever. We were able to get the last statement changed at least. Let's see what else we can do. I can already see, what's it called, this woman saying like he saw a woman in green, and we see this guy saying he slipped over and knocked himself out on Calabash Road. So we can easily say that he must have mistaken. We can pit those two statements against each other and say that he must have mistaken the thing. I think, yeah. The next one, if I remember correctly, and I'm sorry if I'm getting this right. I literally played this game I literally finished this game earlier this year, so the case is still kind of fresh in my mind. I think it is this guy's statement next.
Hold it!
We have to look at. A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son.
My life's on the line too, and so's my family's. Ah, the likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn till dusk it is.
I'm making his voice up as I go, so you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was.
By the bookshop, you say?
That's right, Meerschaum Street.
Oh, snap! Look at that. Look at that. Everything's gone on in our favor. So they was fixed. So his co-workers were fixing up Meerschaum Street. So of course he wouldn't go there. He'd go down Calabash Road, right where the old guy fell, which would mean that, drum roll please. Oh, sorry, my mind went blank. That he must have mistook the old man for a woman. I mean, they do have the same overcoat, the same build, right? The witness who could have reported it might have said, "Oh, it happened on Briar Road because they were confused, maybe." Meerschaum Street.
On the map, Mr. Naruhodo, there are only 3 named streets.
Juror number 5, I need you to add that statement to your formal statement, please.
What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important.
Fine, I'll do it then.
I don't want to give him too much of a southern accent, because that would sound like what's called Ies Andosa, but... Anyways, I can already figure the first statement. Oh, here's the second one. The man wouldn't have gone around his houses on his way back from the bookshop. So, let's put his statement with this guy.
Objection!
There it is. Those 2 statements are clearly at odds with one another.
At odds, counsel. Explain yourself.
Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear.
Eh? What? I just want to get this done and dusted.
Well, juror number 3?
Oh, me, sir? What do you mean?
Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Meerschaum Street, making it impossible. Which means that the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Meerschaum Street and down Briar Road.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir?
Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you?
We must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
So, the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings.
Yes, I suppose he must have.
I suppose that must be right, huh?
Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice.
Yes!
My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
Yes.
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now.
Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. What about you, sir?
Who? Me? Well, alright then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in. That's what I say.
Alright, that is 2 down. 2 more to go. Well, we managed to change a couple minds at least. It strengthens our position somewhat. Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that is exactly what we've got to do. Van Zieks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent, by whatever means we have at our disposal.
Thank you, counsel. On with the summation examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Alright, we got the next one right there too. Pit this woman's testimony. Testimony, yeah. You know, the funny thing is, it might actually be called testimony one of these days. With virtual courtrooms and everything.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel?
Well, juror number 2? Juror number 6? Whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. Ugh, whatever. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot. But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey. That's correct. But what he does remember seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are all well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection!
Can we really be sure of that, madam? Whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh my.
My goodness, you mean...
That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today? That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me!
Sorry? You need a pee?
And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road, which coincides with the other person's testimony in that he couldn't go down Meerschaum Street, so he took the long way around down Calabash Road. Therefore, if the person who saw Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my!
You idiot, old man. If you had been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed us off hours ago.
And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days? Huh? Is it a crime to slip over and bust your head on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat as if I'm a detective? Is it?
My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume?
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too.
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well...
Well, that's the fall we needed in about 20 minutes flat. That's a new record. Last time we did this, it took around 40 minutes.
Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The eyes, 2. The nose, 4. So the nose have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hollow chalice moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust? Pray, forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks. There. That probably sounds like my normal voice or like some kid trying to sound deep, but I think that's a good voice for Van Zeeks at least. Or at least a good way of speaking.
It seems I must retract my earlier remark.
What do you mean?
I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer.
Whatever do you mean?
Objection!
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth.
Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir.
That's right. It took me the whole day, and they paid me a measly 2pence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
2 yards? Well, let's see. A yard is 3 feet, which a meter is 3.3 feet. So, 3 feet... Yeah, a yard is basically a little bit under a meter. So, 2 yards is, what? A little under 2 meters. I'd go as far as, say, what? 1.7 to 1.8 meters. That's not a lot. I mean, that's like, what? 2 yards, 6 feet? 6 feet, I mean, 6 feet, that's about a bit taller than me. That's not exactly it. That's a bit of a hole, yeah, that's a pretty big hole. If I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no. 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Yeah, I was right. 2 yards is like, what, 6 feet, which is, what, 6.6 meters is more than that. Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. What do you mean it's not much at all? That's about the size of a human.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor.
I don't know if you noticed, but well, I mean, I guess you could say Mr. Natsume does have vigor, but I'll give you that.
Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Huh? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no. What?
And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
Huh? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had hope of passing anyway. And we just turn any folk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. Yeah, kids. Not Mr. Natsume, who's like 33 years. He's 33. You really think a 33-year-old can jump a gap of over 2 meters? No. 33-year-olds can barely jump in the air. Oh my god.
The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Is that true? Is it?
The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road.
Crushed in a single sentence.
And, old man,
Cold man, you can talk?
you say that at around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Oh, can't say as I remember.
You don't remember?
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
Order! Order! Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself.
My lord,
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed.
Which is true, literally. The entire point of the summation examination is literally for us to say, hey, stop being an idiot and actually think about what you're saying here. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's right. That doesn't make sense now that I think about it. Alright, let the trial continue. Like, you know what I mean? That's literally what we're saying. That's basically what Van Zieks is showing us. Like, all you have to do is just act convincing and, show a piece of evidence that you may not, that the jurors may not know the context of, and bada bang, bada bam, what's it called? Instant guilty verdict. You know what I mean? It's like, and that the worst part is that's how it is nowadays. Like, how it is nowadays isn't that people are finding the truth or anything like that. It's literally that lawyers and prosecutors are, well, defense attorneys and prosecutors, I should say, because both are lawyers. Both are literally just talking about their side. Like, literally, they're not looking for the truth. All they're looking for is the best possible picture to paint for the jury. The prosecution will paint the accused as a murderer, giving them a motive, giving them, what's it called, all this stuff, painting them as some, what's it called, horrible person that murders people for fun or for some selfish reason, while the defense is basically saying, oh no, it's not his fault because he went insane, or yes, this happened to him, but he felt sad. Wouldn't you feel sad? Was he real? Perhaps he was so sad he couldn't
have been angry enough to do it, and so on. You know what I mean? They're painting, like they're literally going from like saying this guy did not do it to lessening the damage by saying he was a damaged individual. You know what I mean?
But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about?
My lord, the prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses.
Yeah? You're just gonna say, hey, see what you did, Reno? See what you did, Nipponese or whatever? Now let me call my next witness. Like, what? Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. Oh yeah! Hold up. A Scotland Yard policeman. What's it called? Might be Rolly Beat then, now I think about it, because it said reporting officer. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm afraid that is likely to be the prosecution's next witness. Yeah, the guy that actually reported the crime there. Alright. No matter who Banziks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing till the very end, until this battle's over. I'm gonna try and talk close into the mic to make it seem like he's actually thinking, or something. Yeah?
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Constable Rolly Bates, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
And I'm Miss Beat. Patricia's my name, and I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
Is he okay? What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
Oh, really? Yeah, true. If you recall, they gotta wake up before everyone else, turn on all the lanterns or whatever. Not even all the lanterns. They have to put out all the lanterns, bang on the laborer doors to wake them up, then patrol the streets and everything, keeping everything neat and tidy. Then after all that, they gotta turn on the lanterns and everything, and clean the streets and everything. Like, bro, I said this before, I think, but literally, like, why don't you hire more people to do that stuff? Like, seriously, lighting all the lanterns? You could just hire more laborers to do that. Like, literally, what's it called? We already know that, what's it called? Gina's like a pickpocket, right? I think? No? But like, huh. Yeah, if she's a pickpocket, then she must be poor, which means there are a bunch of, like, there are at least a few, I don't know, people in London that are destitute. In other words, why don't they just hire them to light the lanterns, to rap on the windows of the laborers, to make sure the streets are clean? Like, seriously, if you, this might just be me being naive, but if you give them a job, then perhaps the economy might get better. Like, actually, now that I think about it, why don't we give homeless people, like, jobs doing stuff. Like, literally. Now that I think about it, because like, if you're homeless, then you're poor. But when you try to get a job, they're gonna see you have no home and not hire you, or they're gonna see that you look bad. But you need a home to look good. But you need a home to actually look presentable. So, whatever. I'm going on another diatribe.
Indeed. Apart from rare days off, our gallant officers have to trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean, and the lighting and extinguishing our streetlights.
Yeah, literally. Why don't they just get people that are, that are in poverty to do that? Like, you don't even have to pay them that much. You know what I mean? Pay them somehow. You know what I mean? Whatever. Must be a class thing or whatever.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
Yeah, plus I gotta handle cases on top of that. I wouldn't just be falling asleep at my feet. I'd have collapsed a long time ago.
But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes that are on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
Yep. That's the face that's an honorable face right there. And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Bates, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
What a great witness he's gonna be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Let's see what the witnesses saw.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out in the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Yeah?
Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you had established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bechancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. However, This cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So, you appreciate the gravity of this situation, I'm sure.
Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble.
Oh, so...
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Continue with the cross-examination. Commence with the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Alright. Let's see what we can do with this. No time change after work. So this is right after work, okay. 2 silhouettes appeared. Scatter something before running off. More than likely the books, but let's make sure. Huh. Scatter something? What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then, when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we,
Oh, is that a better voice?
Didn't we, darling?
You know what? I'm gonna use that voice. Wow, I didn't even know I had that in me.
Ooh, what? Oh, yes, that's right. It was some old books. I see. Old books. Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them, all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man said that when he did the deed.
Okay, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna continue with the voice I had earlier because that sounds very weird. Whatever. I'm gonna listen. What time is this? 42:27. Okay, so I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna alternate. I'm gonna do what's it called? I'm gonna do the next line with that voice and see how it sounds when I'm done with this.
Hold it!
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was a man on the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose, everything.
Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth there.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We ran straight over, of course, and then went for up at a nearby police box.
How nearby we talking? Was it your husband went to fetch help? No.
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yeah, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But Bobby's never truly off duties, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
Yeah, also protecting your wife. I mean, literally, it's better to send her to go out to get the cops, and it's better to send her to go get the cops rather than have her stay at the crime scene and have the killer still be nearby.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on a crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia to wait to the police box for the beat the incident fell under, and she can go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help for the bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know?
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
He's what's it called? He's lauding them up. What's it called? So the jury doesn't. If the jury doesn't suspect, the jury won't believe us when we say they're what's it called, lying.
Oh, please. You're making us blush. Isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir! What Patricia said, sir.
Let's move on, shall we?
It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rody and I both saw him as clear as day.
Oh wait, no, I got that already. That's their entire testimony, though. Yeah, it seems to me like they're literally just like, I saw him. No, like we were walking down the street and then we saw someone fall. We ran over, saw the guy running away, and then called the cops. Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing this testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mr. Beat, Mr. and Mrs. Beat, saw what they saw. Wait, what? Oh, saw what they say they saw. Sorry. Mr. and Mrs. It ain't that time yet. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So, if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no. What do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here,
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
But simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it? Alright. No time to change?
Hold it!
I assume this was around the same time? No time to change after work? Are you also a member of the police? Yeah, you think she's a member of the police? Really? Women, children, and the elderly can't apply. Oh. Wow, okay. Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can you? Can't you?
I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling?
I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rolly. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, sir. Yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet.
And I'm spending the whole day to sit down.
Give me a moment. Let me position the microphone so I can stand.
Alright, good. That's much better for my legs. Do I have to move over the pop filter? Well, I'm sitting. I'm gonna sit down in a little anyways. Alright, I'll just stand a bit away from the camera, so yeah. From the microphone, so yeah. If you hear me sounding a bit louder or smaller, I don't know. Yeah. And if you hear any of the plosive sounds sound a bit more, sorry. What was it? Oh yeah.
But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
What is that now?
My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the notable founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir! And for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to...
Why am I using this voice?
Just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Yeah, sorry. I messed up on whatever button I was clicking for a second there.
Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little, over the top, perhaps.
And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Alright, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. Two silhouettes?
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume. Yes, unfortunately it does.
And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh, yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground, but Briar Road is dead straight, and you can see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then, I just streetlighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Wow. The first time my yawning has actually, been useful in this Let's Play.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you've just said?
Yes, sir! As a couple who spends all day, every day, keeping water on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir.
No other pedestrians, okay.
I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Oh, brother. They're still maintaining that there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that's how it must have really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
Alright, one more before we can get into... Got that already. Saw him clear as day. Are you sure about that? But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Yeah, I can see that with those sparkly eyes of yours. Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was the only light, didn't he?
Yes. And what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. It's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is.
Oh wait, no, what? No, not that voice. What?
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you please stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you that for sure and certain it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Yes. It was the accused. No mistake. The mustache, the hunched back, the eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir.
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. Dang. Oh, it was one of these, what's it called, ones. Alright, you know what? Should I go forward? Actually, hold up. Okay, we have like 3 minutes. I can go a little bit more forward.
Mr. Lawyer, sir? Can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
What? No, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one, I could. Every single one.
Oh, really now? Because we just so happen to have a receipt that's about all the names. So, tell us, why don't ya?
And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Mrs. B.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rowley will.
Ma'am, I think I think Rowley is out of the picture at the moment. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beats. Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That will settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling?
Alright. And with this testimony, I think it is best that we end things here, because I mean oh well, god dang it. I'll go with this, yeah. But anyways, I think it's best we end things here. I think we already know what to do next. I think so. Yeah, may as well just kind of stop here and continue on later on, you know. But yeah, so next time we're going to disprove that she knows the names, because I mean you can see she probably does. She obviously doesn't know at least one of the names out or something. And yeah, so let's just save. What will we put you in? 10, 15, yeah, good. There we go. Great. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.